If anyone around here is going to be a master debater, it's me. So let's go. Who wants to debate the master debater? Let's go. You right there.
That's the stupidest haircut I've ever seen.
You are wrong. Leviticus 3:17 says it shall be a perpetual statute for your generation throughout all your dwellings. So you can shut up, baby. You just hate America and you love abortions.
It's the stupidest haircut I've ever seen.
First of all, I just think it's hilarious.
So
and secondly, the whole thing is like, wait, so a campus thing I've been doing for 13 years to debate random college kids has now been so important that it gets prominent primetime placement on Comedy Central.
Now, I think many people were reminded yesterday that freedom of speech does come with a price. Yeah, you can say whatever you want, no matter how inflammatory against somebody it may be, no matter how it may make someone react. You can say whatever you want, but be wary that somebody out there may want to do you bad for the things you say and the things you believe. And Charlie Kirk learned that the hard way yesterday. If you have not heard, which is almost impossible because at this point I feel like it's a shot heard around the world, Charlie Kirk was assassinated on a Utah campus during one of his infamous, famous, however you want to put it, change my mind speeches or rallies. And it was gruesome. The video is all over Twitter from so many different angles, so many different people's judgments on it, from good to bad, from conspiracies to, oh, it had to be this person or that person. But at the end of the day, I would never condone the ending and or taking of someone's life, no matter how extreme their thought process may be, as long as they do not act upon those thoughts and those bad influence and intentions that I think they may have. I'm cool. Keep it to yourself. You want to speak on it? It is what it is. And I believe that we should be able to have public discourse to battle against those ideas. So, for instance, if you think Charlie Kirk is wrong about Palestine, Israel, you should be able to discuss that with him and be able to showcase to not only him, but others around him who may be influenced by his words that he's incorrect. Same thing for his racist takes or his misogynist takes or his transphobic takes. No matter what it may be, it should never lead to violence. And now I personally fear heavily that depending on who turns out to be the culprit, who turns out to be the one who actually did the shooting, there's going to be some kind of retaliation in some sort.
This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. And this murder Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood squirting out of his neck. I love that guy. He would have been our next president. I am so pissed right now. Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh, damn it.
Now, I have many friends on the right as well and the left. Me, I don't really sit on any of the camp. I just sit right there side in the middle and just some things work for me over here. It's work for me from over here. And I go about my merry own day. I don't play up to this party game politics. I don't. But many of my friends are sitting here going, oh my goodness, it must have been a crazy wild leftist. They're the only one doing violence in this country. When they forget that just 2 months ago, 2 senators were assassinated by a 57-year-old Republican man. So the violence is clearly there, and it's going to continue to ramp up more and more, that people believe that for words, we should be able to take people's lives. And I just don't agree with that. Now, some people are championing and praising the death of Charlie Kirk. I mean, many. You go on TikTok, you go on that scroll, it's so many loving it.
By the sword, die by the sword. He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow. That's good. That's good that people are getting shot just off a political view?
Charlie Kirk gets shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it. And that's how I feel at this point in time. But
You know, I appreciate your honesty. I truly do. So you said someone had to do it.
yes.
On the flip side of that, there's many who are in mourning, who truly cared for this man, who thought he was a good person and was representative of their beliefs and their views and their values. And that's on them. I'm not somebody who's going to sit here and tell you who you should agree with, who you shouldn't agree with. I'm not going to tell you who you should mourn for and how you should mourn or how you should feel about someone's death. So the one side that's sitting here laughing, making fun of him, that's one thing. The other side who's crying for him, loving him, that's one thing. I sit in the middle. I personally did not care. Now, that may sound inhumane. They may sound callous. They may sound just rude. But the honest truth of it matter is he was just a person on the internet for me. Someone who I barely saw much of because I've already gone through my red arc as a 20-year-old. I'm past that. When I had Ben Shapiro and oh no, what is that guy's name? Steven Crowder and what's that guy who like, oh, that's amazing. All those folks. And yeah, I grew out of that after I started to learn more facts and understand that no, I don't agree with any of that. So I started to come back towards the middle. So I've already gone through that arc, but many people have not left that arc and or just fully are locked into that forever. And I understand it. Now, I was completely surprised when some of the left influencers, some of the three of the biggest in my opinion, are like Dean, Destiny, and Hassan.
There is a closer footage of Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck here as well, where you can oh, he's dead. Oh my God, he's definitely dead. Oh my God, I can't believe I just saw that. Oh my God.
Like shooting and everything is bad. It's bad. But like this is like for conservatives, this is like kind of fuck around and find out. This is what they want. Remember, you're like deploying the National Guard to places. You're sending the Marines around. You're talking about us, you know, go to war with people. Like this is kind of this is what we're kind of gearing up for. So I mean, you can't really be surprised when this is the kind of shit that's happening, right?
His wife and children were in attendance, dude. Imagine, you know, imagine being a 12-year-old, you know, watching your dad fucking die.
Did not go too crazy with the reaction on this. I thought for sure that they'd be championing it. They'll be praising this to the utmost degree, but they weren't. I was shocked. Now, admittedly, Hassan and both Dean had the better responses, in my opinion, the more PC response, because, you know, Hassan reacted like, wow, this is crazy. This is disgusting. This is vile. Dean is disavowing anyone on his side who is celebrating this loss of life, which is in itself is crazy. But, you know, Destiny's going to do what Destiny does. He's an edgelord. He didn't pull no punches during Trump's assassination attempts, and so here he didn't really either. Though he was genuinely taken aback and he's like, wow, I didn't expect that. And as far as I can see, he just went as far as saying, you play stupid games for stupid prizes. Now, that in itself is insensitive to many, but at the same time, it's not necessarily endorsing it. Maybe I'm throwing too much bail here. You let me know. But either way it goes, there were many on the internet who were completely, and I mean completely on board with this.
I'm not saying she deserved it, but I'm saying God's timing is always right.
Now, as you heard the young lady say, somebody had to do it. So in her mind said that he was such a vile person on this earth that he deserved to be erased. Now, not just silenced, jailed, blacklisted from any internet or social media platform. No, he deserved to be ghosted from existence. That is wild to me. Like, I'm someone who believes that life has value to people who value you. So I may not care about it. I might not care about the other hundreds of thousands of people who may die here and there. It sucks. It does actually suck. But do I care on a personal level with these people? No, I can't. It's impossible. It's too much empathy. Too much empathy. But what I do care for is how now his death is going to affect his children, his wife, who I'm not 100% sure, but I believe were in attendance. If she sat there and watched that, or even if she wasn't there and she had to watch this on the internet from so many different angles, their kids at some point when they get older are going to see this from so many different angles. That is horrific. That's terrifying. I don't wish that on my greatest enemy. But yet, people again are happy about this. And I can't fault them. You're going to react how you're going to react, especially people's feelings are in this and they see him as literally a monster. And at that point, there's nothing I can do about it. I would just say, just be careful, because then when it happens on your side, be ready for the same energy from the other side. And that's something I think many people do not forget. Because once it happens to them and their side, someone close to them, now they're up in arms. They're like, why? Why is this happening? We have to change things. But at that point, it's too late. You already made fun of the other side, being a hypocrite. So don't try to ask for sympathy on your side. And Charlie Kirk says some things like this.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage.
Where he is emphasizing that empathy is overrated and or should not be a thing. I can understand why many people don't give him any empathy, any sympathy, or just don't care. It's his own words that got him there. And then make it even go further, he said this.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
Now, I've never thought about it from that angle. I'm not a gun-toting person in my personal life, and I don't necessarily care about guns, but I also don't care if people have guns. But when he says that some sacrifices have to be made, that is very ironic that the last words he says in his life are gang violence, and then it's elimination. Because more than likely, this is someone who has a fairly good shot with a rifle, so they're either trained, semi-trained, or got very lucky with their shot, one of the three. And it's unlikely that it's a black person, unlikely that it's a woman. It's probably a white person who did it.
Black t-shirt, these black pants, and there appears to be some white on the soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for. So here's the still photographs. I mentioned these have been enhanced. So these are slightly different than what we introduced earlier.
So for him to get eliminated by his own statistic is just going to be very ironic, and I can see why people online are going crazy with the different lines of rhetoric. But at the end of the day, I am afraid of where this can take things, because I've already seen much upheaval and uprising on the internet from the right side saying that they pretty much declare war on the left. Not even having any evidence yet that it is someone from the left, but they've already declared war on the left. I've even seen on some campuses, Facebook pages in Florida, they're currently going through a situation where there are people making threats to HBCUs and other campuses, and also schools, high schools, elementary schools, saying that the first black person I see, they're getting eliminated. They're legitimately saying that they wish that before that young Ukrainian woman got in the neck on the train, they wish they would have killed 60 of us to stop that from happening to save her life. So they're already blaming us, be clear, blaming us and getting upset about this Charlie Kirk's death and putting it on us some magical way. That in itself is crazy. Now, if I was going to be very petty, like some people on the right are, I would just go, okay, all white people are doing this. All white people are blaming us. So now and then when we find out the shooter is white, then it means all white people are shooters. I hate that line of reasoning. There are some good people, there are some good bad people on both sides. You hear that from Trump. Now, unfortunately, he was using that to talk about the KKK or the Klans or the good boys, whoever it may have been, to describe them. So it doesn't really help here in my case, but there are good white people. There are good black people. There's good people of all races. And I'm not going to sit here demonize an entire race for something some of them didn't do. No, again, do they got a lot of sins to pay for? Yeah. Yes, they do. And those are some talks we got to have. Because I guarantee you, they're going to want us to remember Charlie Kirk's name. But yet they want to erase slavery. But yet they want to erase the mass indigenous genocide that they did on the people who were here. And that is just weird to me. We can't remember some things and forget others. We have to know that remembering the past helps us stay away from what could happen in the future. But yet, as one of my friends just told me last night, Charlie Kirk is going to become the MAGA MLK. Some of the wildest words I've heard in my entire life, but low-key, can it be true? Like, Charlie Kirk is a very good piece that they used to galvanize the youth in the last election cycle. And especially after Trump's attempted assassination, he went from pretty much losing most polls to winning most polls. And rhetoric is very powerful. This is going to cause some kind of stir, some kind of upheaval, some kind of uprising that's just going to be not necessarily unforeseen, but at this point suspected. Just completely predictable. And it's scary. This country is slowly but surely, not even slowly but surely, has always been built off of division and taking advantage of really bad situations to sell an agenda. And that's not going to end anytime soon.